Hello, my name is Brenda Gunderson. Part 1 of Collecting and Choosing Online Learning Resources focused primarily on the instructor side. Part 2 focuses on the students.
Hello, my name is Nancy Konigsberg-Kerner. Part 2 of this presentation provides examples of how students can play a pivotal role in building the collection of online learning resources for your teaching situation.
Let us begin with a quick reminder about building a collection of quality online teaching and learning resources.
As you build your own collection of learning objects for your teaching situation, ask, does the learning object have a goal?
Is the learning object easy to manipulate?
Is there a clear pathway to the learner's development of a key concept or relationship?
Does it provide feedback, allow the user to apply their understanding to new situations?
Melo instructors typically looked for learning objects that address difficult concepts, topics, or terminology.
You may also wish to identify the type of learning objects you prefer, since online resources are often arranged by type.
Here is an example of the results of a survey of psychology faculty with regard to learning object preferences, where the results showed a clear preference for case studies.
Your students can act as co-teachers and play a pivotal role in building the online learning resource collection for your course.
Psychology graduate student instructor Jay Holden had an innovative end-of-the-term assignment involving online learning resources.
Students in his intro psychology section were asked to each pick what they thought was the muddiest point in the course and search for learning objects to address it.
In addition, students were to submit a mini-review of the selected learning object, indicate why it was chosen, and how it could be used in the course.
In effect, Jay was asking his students to act as co-teachers and peer reviewers.
Interestingly, students found many quality learning objects that the instructor had not previously discovered.
One example was a great simulation that teaches the concept of classical conditioning.
This learning object provided a fun and an effective way to introduce classical conditioning by asking questions such as, can you make a dog drool on command?
Chemistry took the process of using students as co-teachers for finding and integrating learning objects into the course one step further.
A learning object scavenger hunt began mid-semester that involved a large class of 450 students.
The website included hunt rules and information about online learning objects such as evaluation criteria.
Let us hear about the process from Kevin.
General laboratory course of approximately 400 students participated in a competition to find quality learning objects which related to their curriculum. The competition was centralized around this website, where there was a description of the contest and its rules, a downloadable submission form, a link to the Melo website, and the starting list of all the learning objects that were currently available in the course, of which the students could not choose. The rules of the competition were that each student could submit an online learning object of their choosing that related to the course in some way, either directly related to an experimental concept, basic skills of the course, or presentation skills. Submitted sites were gone over, and after so many were collected, an updated list of learning objects were made available to the students. Once a learning object was submitted and posted, students still needing to submit their learning object could not choose them. In addition to general information about the site, such as concept it is trying to convey, the submission form also had students give their personal impressions of the site and how this learning object could be used within the course. It also had ratings in the following categories of clarity, interactiveness, helpfulness, ease of use, and overall quality. This is a very nice example of a submission where it is clear that the student took time to critique the learning object prior to submitting. They had given appropriate examples as to how the learning object could be incorporated into lab, including specific questions which were in the directives.
Over 100 different learning objects were contributed. Some were even created by the students.
Some became part of the learning object collection that was made available for students for optional use, while others were integrated into different required aspects of the course and remain there and are currently used till this current date.
In another example, Melo member Christine Modi had her students create reflective videos for a student-centered website on writing.
In effect, her students became co-teachers.
For more details about the revision project, we invite you to visit the Writing Disciplines section of this website.
Consider having your students act as co-teachers with regard to finding, choosing, and creating online learning resources for your teaching situation.
Get your students involved.
We hope you have found these examples useful. Thanks.